Hi all, good morning. Today I'm going to show some informations about Openfiler and what exactly can be done with Openfiler and other stuffs. So I have two virtual machines running, one with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, it's running 6.8, and another VM is running Openfiler. So to give an idea about Openfiler is an ISCSI backend storage support. So let's see. So I have a VM which is running on Openfiler operating system of version 2.991. Post the OS installation, you will be in this login prompt. You have to make a note of this web administration GUI, though the IP address is 192.168.31.129 and Openfiler runs on the port 446. So to perform the basic administration task on Openfiler, you have to use the GUI, and people who are really comfortable with CLI, they can do the same operations in CLI as well. Now I'm going to copy paste this IP address in one of my browsers. So this is the welcome page of Openfiler, and the default username is Openfiler. The password is password all in lowercase, and you can get the same credentials from Google itself. Uh, you don't have to really get in touch with Openfiler for getting the username and password. So this is the home page of Openfiler, where you can get the basic informations and what is the IP address, what is the kernel version, what is the distribution name, and how long this machine is up and running, load average, current users, and other informations. So if you look at this Openfiler VM, I have added two disks, each of size 10 GB. So I have two disks. The first disk is where the Openfiler operating system exists, and second disk is the one which I'm going to use it for creating volumes and other stuffs. So to give an idea on Openfiler, so what exactly I'm going to do is, so this is my server, one of my VMs, which is running on Red Hat 6.8, and this is my Openfiler setup, and both having an IP address, and they should be in the same network, or you have to make sure that they both have a proper TCP/IP connection. And Openfiler runs on the port 3260. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allocate a storage space from this Openfiler to my Red Hat server. So let's see how it works and what are the technical steps behind this connection and other things. To make a note, the port number is 3260. Okay, and it works in a basic client server architecture where the client is your Red Hat box and your server is your Openfiler. Let's see how it works. So to start with, Openfiler works on ISCSI protocol, so you have to make sure the ISCSI service is running. So for that, you have to go to the services tab and you see ISCSI Target and ISCSI Initiator. So if it is disabled or if it is stopped, you have to make sure it's enabled and it's running. So by default, it would be like this. The ISCSI Target would be disabled and it would be in stop state. And you have to make sure it is enabled and it is in running state. So what is the difference between an ISCSI initiator and a target? So initiator is the one who initiates an ISCSI connection to the target. So we have done with starting the ISCSI target service. It is enabled and it is running. From Openfiler point of view, you really don't have to make this ISCSI initiator service to be running, but it doesn't make any difference if it is running. So you can get rid of it or else you can leave it just like that. Now let's go back to volumes. So what we're going to do now is I told you that this Openfiler box already has two disks and we are going to use the second one. So I'm going to use the second disk and I'm going to create a volume group, and from that volume group I'm going to take the space whichever is required, and that space will be assigned to the Red Hat server, which is equivalent to a LUN in a normal storage. So I'm in this volume group management page. Let me create a new physical volume. So I have two disks. SDA is the one where the Openfiler operating system resides. So I'm going to use the SDB, the second disk. So I'm going to first partition this disk. Let me partition it as a physical volume. So now you will be getting a new partition called SDB1. This is exactly or somewhat equivalent to the logical volume manager concept in Red Hat Linux. So physical volume, volume group, and logical volume. So now the physical volume has been created. It is called as SDB1. And the next step is I'm going to create a volume group from this partition SDB1. So you have to click on this volume groups tab, and I'm going to give a name. Let's say I'm giving a name called DataVG, and I'm going to add this physical volume. So the volume group has been created. Now we can see the volume group, and the overall size of the volume group is it's close to 9.5 GB. Now the next step is pretty simple. We are going to extract the required space from the volume group, which is equivalent to creating an LUN. Say for example, you're getting a request from an application team that they're looking for a file system of size 5 GB. So you have to extract that 5 GB space from this overall volume group, and that's your volume. So I'm just giving a name for my volume, say data vol. I'm giving a volume description. I'm giving the space 5 GB, and this file system or the volume type should be ISCSI, because this volume will be assigned to the clients via ISCSI, which is running with TCP/IP protocol. So now the volume has been created. So we are done with the creating the volume. The next is ISCSI target. So what exactly the ISCSI target is an IQ1 number. Now let's go to target configuration. So I have a IQ1 number created, but you still have an option to customize it. Let me create like this. So this is my IQ1 number. Let me click on add. So now I have an IQ1 an ISCSI target by the name called Red Hat. The fully qualified ISCSI target name is IQ1 dot this number is Openfiler Red Hat. Now LUN mapping. So now what I'm going to do is I created a volume called data vol, and I'm going to map this volume to this ISCSI target called Red Hat. So when I click on map, this volume will get mapped to the ISCSI target Red Hat. So whoever logs into this ISCSI target will be able to access this volume. This is exactly the ISCSI, the working nature. So everything works with ISCSI target. So we assign this logical volume which we created now to this ISCSI target. So whichever client logs into this ISCSI target will be able to work with this volume. So likewise, you can map any number of volumes. There is really no physical limitations in mapping the volumes to this ISCSI target. So next is network ACL. So we are done with logical volume creation, and then we are done with creating an ISCSI target. These two are the crucial components. The next is systems. Now what we're going to do is we are going to so this is my client which is running on Red Hat 6.8, and this is the IP, and I'm going to make this box as my client, and I'm going to add this client to my Openfiler. It's already added. No, let me add it. Red Hat, this is my IP, and this is the subnet mask. So I have added a new client to this Openfiler. So it is added. I added by the name called Red Hat, but it's up to you. You can add by any name, it doesn't matter. Going back to volumes, ISCSI targets. Now you see we have the new client which I added few minutes before. It is in access denied state, which means this client right now is denied from accessing this ISCSI target Red Hat. So you have to allow it. So let me go back in chain. So I created an ISCSI target called Red Hat, and I mapped the logical volume which I created to this ISCSI target Red Hat. and then I added a new client and I've given access to the client to access this ISCSI target Red Hat. So we are done with the Openfiler end. Now we have to do the configuration from the Red Hat server end. So first of all, make sure you have this command ISCSI ADM is installed. Then we have to initiate a discovery. The discovery is exactly similar to what we do in scanning a new disk by using echo command. But for ISCSI disk, we really don't have to use the echo command because the ISCSI ADM utility is having its own command. ISCSI ADM discovery -t st-p, and you have to give the Openfiler IP address. Followed by the port number 3260. So it says no portal found, which means this client is trying to check if there is any ISCSI target has been created on this filer on this port number, but it says no portal found. So the possible reason is by default there is a bug in Openfiler. Let me show you that. So I'm logging into the console as a root user. Inside HC you have a file called etc initiators.deny. So whenever you add a new ISCSI target, it gets added to this file, and that's the reason why we got the error message. So I'm removing the targets. Now let's do the discovery. So now see, you can see that we have two ISCSI targets, but Red Hat is the one which I created for testing purpose. So what I'm going to do now is, since we have two targets, let me try to log into one of the target Red Hat which I created now. So you have to enter the fully qualified ISCSI target -p filer IP port number and -l. So L is for logging in. You are logging in to this target which is running on this filer on this port number, and it says login is successful. Now to verify this, you can execute this command ISCSI ADM -m session. So it says yes, you have logged in successfully to this ISCSI target. So let me go back to the GUI. So this is the target which we created, Red Hat. So anyone logging into this ISCSI target must be able to see this volume of size 5 GB. Now let's see if this disk is visible in the server. Yeah, I see a disk called STB. Yes, we have a disk of size 5 GB. So let me get more information on this. So this is OS file from where we can get the disk information like the manufacturer, vendor, by which path the disk has been assigned to the server, and other information. So you can see the vendor is Openfiler, and it is coming via the path ISCSI IQ number Red Hat. So this is the exact disk which is assigned to the filer ISCSI target Red Hat, and then which is mapped to this client Red Hat. So ISCSI status. So this is the service which takes care of all the ISCSI operations to be performed on the server end. So what this command will do is the flag -u refers to logging out. So you're logging out of the target red hat, which means you will no longer have access to the disk SDB. See, there is no disk called SDB. So if you want to log in once again to this target, the same command -l. So -u for logout, -l for logging in. So these are all the basic operations which we can perform from the Openfiler end. Now this disk can be used, can simply format the disk. So I just formatted the disk. So the disk is formatted and this can be released to the application team. So we are done with the this video. This video contains basic information on how to create a volume with Openfiler and how to add a client to the filer and how to create an ISCSI target. A very few basic operations. We'll come up with a lot of videos in the future with more administrative tasks. Thank you for watching the video.